Wembley against Serge
Our next
Mbomo
bout this evening
when
is
he was
a
still a
6
prospect.
3-minute rounds contest in the middleweight division. Firstly, in the red corner, competing in his 176 contest, weighing in 160 pounds and 5 ounces. Tonight he wears the red shorts with black trim. Please welcome, from Islington, London, Jordan Grannum. And moving across the ring into the blue corner, with an unbeaten record of 7 wins, 3 by way of KO. Weighing in 163 pounds, 3 ounces, and tonight he wears the grey and white shorts. Please welcome, from Bexley, London, Micky the Gent Burke Jr. Your referee, Bernard Oyet, will now give his final instructions.
All right, gentlemen, let's keep it clean, let's keep it professional. Remember to protect yourself at all times. When I call break, you must take a step back, okay? Touch glove and let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is 6 3-minute rounds.
And to repeat, it's 6 3s at middleweight for the returning Micky Burke against Jordan Grannum.
Seconds out.
A long time between action in the ring for Burke. Let's see if the old fire still burns. Just a general consensus that he was losing his appetite for the game. Then came this very long layoff indeed, but he's got to show renewed vigour and build on what was a very promising career until his mind started to wander just a little bit.
And that can happen, to be honest. When you're boxing from a kid, and that's all you know, you miss out. You know, there's a lot of sacrifices that come with boxing. You miss out on a lot of, you know, life. And he's, you know, a young adult getting to a certain age where, you know, friends are going out and doing certain things and, you know, having fun, and he has to just stay disciplined. And it's easy to just fall out of love or something. So I think he needed that time off to realise he actually misses boxing and he does enjoy it. And that could do him, you know, a world of good, to be honest. But it just, like you said, depends how much fire he has left in his belly, you know, as he's making his comeback.
Shot deemed to be a shade low by our referee Bernardotti. I didn't think there was much in it personally, and neither did Burke. And what was good about that salvo was that Burke's hands are moving very sharply indeed.
But yeah, he is a really good boxer. We did box for the same amateur gym for a little while, Fisher, ABC down in Bermondsey.
A real fighting family, of course. Father Micky. Been a big influence one way and another. Going on like he's some kind of old stager. He's only 24 now. Burke. Early impression here is that he's enjoying himself, which I think is the first step. Grannum, who's seen it all really in his career, is just sizing it up. Very hard for him to know what it would be like against Burke tonight, I think. He'd have known him, of course, and watched him for many a year on his way up, amateur and pro, as you've mentioned there, Denzel, but does he show up for this thinking, oh, this will be a walkover because I know he doesn't want it anymore? Or is he thinking to himself, no, I've heard that he's fresh and brand new and fizzing in the gym?
That is a good point. That is a very good point. And that's probably why he's taking this first round to kind of have a look and see what he's in there with. I mean, we have to see if he picks it up in the second round and throws a little bit more back.
I will wager that he will.
Yeah.
He's certainly not there to just roll over and make Burke look good in his return, that is
No,
for sure.
definitely not. That wouldn't be doing anyone any favours.
There's a little exchange between them at the weigh-in, actually, because Burke still carrying a pound or two over the middleweight limit. It was actually over 163, and Grannum had very dutifully done the 160. He shouted in the air, "Is there a few quid for me in this?" Answer. Nobody answered him, actually. But I think they'll want a bit more by way of an answer in this second round.
Yeah.
That's a good showing from Burke to come back. But lest we forget, and he will know this, the hard work hasn't even started yet.
Ten seconds. Seconds out. Round 2.
So Burke let the hands go right from the start and looked rather good doing it. Looked like a natural boxer with a great pedigree. All the things we knew first time round, really. Jordan Grannum hasn't really got started so far tonight. And Burke starts over again in impressive fashion. It's the best pair of hands I've seen in this show tonight. And I mean that as a great compliment. So far.
So far, yeah.
Natural talent.
Oh, 100%.
Huge.
Yeah. Good shot selection, good hand speed. Yeah, it's good to see. I mean, it's good that, you know, he didn't just throw his talent away, and he is making his comeback, because he has a lot of potential to be a good talent.
Grannum needs to get going here a bit for me.
Oh, Grannum just throwing some back.
There is potentially one other element to this, of course. Denzel as a 6-rounder. Is Grannum saying, listen, I know he's got good hands, but I just don't believe that his engine can be in full working order, so I'll just let him have a blast on his way back for a round or two, and then I'll start to pick him off when he starts to feel a bit tired.
That is a good point. That's a very good point.
I don't know. It's a possibility.
Especially where, you know, he never made the weight, and it's already a weight above, you know, the weight class he wants to contest that. So he's thinking, how hard have you trained for this comeback?
Nonetheless, it's all Burke, really, isn't it?
It is. Every time Grannum shoots a shot, he gets caught in between, so he's just opted to just, you know, cover up and, you know, be defensively responsible. But there's not much coming back from Grannum.
Micky Burke started boxing at the age of 6. It shows, quite honestly.
Yeah, it does.
And he, as Denzel said, he was one of the best amateurs in Britain in his age group for a few years. Different approach also, we understand, in terms of the training mentality. He was with Alan Smith at the iBox gym as a pro. And looking back on it, their version of it all is, listen, we just felt that the way that Alan Smith likes his boxers to box didn't necessarily suit Burke's best advantages. Prepared to get in the pocket, take a few shots in order to deliver, and that's the way he's boxing in this fight tonight, very impressively indeed. And in the corner, overseeing Burke Mark II, if you like, is Johnny Garton, who was a British champion, of course.
Yeah, that is good experience in that corner. And it's funny because working there with Frankie Greaves, who trained Kerry Corcoran, who Johnny Garton, you know, fought and beat in his British title defence, I'm sure. Boxing, eh?
Grannum on his stool, Burke trying to send out a little signal that I can do plenty of rounds if you need me to. Standing up there. Looking very relaxed and happy
10
with
seconds.
as they were at the weigh-in, actually. It just felt like
Seconds
they
out.
were all good to go
Round
and
3.
get going again. Really good so far tonight from Burke. Sean McAvoy is helping our young probationer referee with the scoring from ringside.
Oh, good shots from Grannum. Just fired a nice two-piece combination back.
It's about time, isn't it?
Yeah. But Burke isn't having it. He's still walking him down and putting some big shots in him himself.
Another of the great unknowns about the way it ended first time for Burke was how hard was he finding it really to do welterweight. That we do not know.
Yeah,
I'm just sitting here watching this tonight thinking, was that the problem? Because he's 5'10" and he's not a rangy kid who's naturally growing into the middleweight in terms of his dimensions at the age of what would have been 21/22, Denzel. But maybe it was all just becoming too hard. I'm throwing a lot of maybes on the table, aren't I?
No, but
the reason I'm doing it is because it's a mystery, because I'm seeing Burke here tonight as a very talented operator indeed.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, when it gets hard like that sometimes and you're not at the level of championships and all these things, and where it's worth boiling down to that weight, it could all just be too hard and be like, hey, I could do something else here. All my mates are going out, having late nights and having fun, and I'm just here suffering, all for the greater cause. But you may not see it like that at such a young age, but
yes.
Luckily he's only still 24 and he's still got years ahead of him. A lot of kids only make their debuts at 24, so.
The quotes I've read, I've learned a lot about a few things in the interim. Maybe getting bored outside of boxing wasn't very good for me.
Yeah.
It gets boring.
It does. I mean, it gets repetitive, so.
Can Grannum stop this Burke bandwagon from rolling? Not at the moment. Burke teasing him on. He looks a bit fed up with himself here, Jordan Grannum. He's not getting going at all at the moment, is he?
Yeah, he's not getting going. I think, Burke is a real talent. He is a good talent. I think Grannum's just finding it hard to find a good distance, a good rhythm, right now. And, it's all Burke right now. I mean, every now and then Grannum throws a nice combination or nice shots here and there, but it isn't enough to keep Burke off him. Burke is just walking him down, and yeah, probably clearly the more physical in the aspects of strength. So he's finding it easier to push Grannum back.
Let's look at these shots that Burke is throwing. There's another great thing about Burke here. That last millisecond, he's turning the shots over, especially the right hand. That just generates that little bit of extra sting. That's what classy boxers have got.
Yeah.
10
It's a
seconds.
well-skilled fighter there. Just at the last minute, he turns it over and makes the fist, and that's probably what helps
Seconds out.
generate the speed and the power,
Round
just as he
4.
turns it over at the last second.
Through halfway. Couldn't have gone any better on this return to action for Burke so far. After a long, long layoff. Can Grannum get busy now? He's lost 8 in a row before tonight. Lastly against Fraser Wilkinson just 7 days ago in Aberdeen. We spoke about Burke's amateur credentials, but Grannum long ago was actually very promising amateur.
Yeah.
Novice titles. Turned his back on, I'm told, what was a potential football career. He was an Arsenal junior for a while. That was the gain of Islington, ABC, and then Finchley. Close quarters, Burke, angles, sharp little shots, clever little shots on the inside, the full panoply, the full repertoire.
I mean, Grannum must really enjoy fighting to give up a potential career as a footballer to come and, live life in the ring as a fighter. I think Burke is just comfortable now. He's just dropped the guard and opted to allowing his reflexes rather than having his hands up. Can't tell whether that's because he's tired or he's just you know, cruising and finding it easy.
Never at any point so far has Grannum threatened to inject some pace into this to really test Burke's legs. Burke is covering all the angles, cutting off the ring. He's there for Grannum wherever Grannum may go. Fairly relentless this from Burke, and Grannum is beginning to look slightly despairing. And if he's fooling us, he's doing a very good job of it. I don't think he is fooling us. I don't think, unless Burke completely empties against all expectation, I don't think we're going to see a plot change, do you?
No, I don't think so neither. I think Burke is quite comfortable and he's winning every round, and he's just nice and relaxed, and he's in a rhythm right now. He's in a good flow, and it's hard to break that. When a good fighter's in a good rhythm, it's hard to break that.
He's dominated and bossed Burke from the very start of this tonight. And Grannum has not come up with any answers at all.
Ten seconds. Seconds out.
Burke
Round
again on
5.
his toes, wanting to get on with it. Grannum up from his stool. 2 rounds of what's become a fairly torturous night for Jordan Grannum. 2 rounds still to go. I remember when Burke beat Paul Cummins, that was a very good victory. There's a body shot in there which stays in the memory. And it's been a lot to the head so far tonight, but I wonder, is he thinking about trying to just show he's still got it where it counts downstairs? Taking a few shapes in that direction early in this round. There you go.
I think he's been looking for the body, but Grannum's defense is, you know, is quite
fairly
tight.
sound, yeah.
It is sound, yeah.
Maybe he remembers the Cummings shot as well. Grannum. There goes Burke on the inside. Downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Good work again. Working over his man, basically. It's relentless, this. Grannum with a smile, but it's almost an air of resignation. That's the best I've got for you tonight, son. It's not going to work, is it? But it's all down to Burke. His quality performance, the accuracy, the speed, the hand speed particularly. Good right hand over the top that time. Grannum felt that one a little bit. And the most important thing really, Denzel, I think so far, from Burke's point of view, there's been no drop-off in intensity or concentration.
Yeah, that is true. There hasn't been, which is good, because, you know, coming back, you want to still see if you've got, you know, it in you, like going through the gears and being able to do 6 rounds in his first fight back, and he's been able to do that, so that has been impressive to see. Grannum was giving him some shots back, and Burke just telling him, not enough, mate, and come back on his own.
good quality work, round after round from Burke. There's no other way of putting it. They're enjoying themselves now, both of them. Grannum, I think he's all out of ideas. Burke's loving life back in a boxing ring. But there's still one round of business to attend to.
There is. But I don't think there's anything Grannum can do that can disrupt Burke's rhythm right now.
Many will be watching, asking the question on Boxnation and YouTube tonight. It's all well and good against Jordan Grannum, who at the moment, I'm afraid, is heading for his 159th professional defeat. What's going to happen when Burke finds himself getting pegged, getting put under pressure, having to fight 8 or 10 hard rounds? But we can only judge on what we see. And I'll be honest, I'm very surprised that at this juncture, I am going to have to say that this is an eye-catching showing for the returning Micky Burke. And even a word in Grannum's direction from the corner. There you are, we gave you another few seconds. So now we get on with it in the 6th and final round. Micky Burke returning to action after more than 3 years. Slight correction, not quite 3 years, but you know what I mean.
The first time in the whole fight I've seen Micky Burke go backwards. Maybe we might get a little showing from Grannum to close off this round, to close off the fight.
Grannum's giving us what he's got to give. I think Burke's waiting to see that off, and then with about 2 minutes or something like that, we might start to see a renewed sense of purpose. Here we go with Burke. Now he steps forward. Now he gets those blue gloves going again. This is going to be an interesting scenario as well. Blue corner, home fighter, Queensbury promotional machine behind him. I wonder if they're as impressed with this as I am tonight, and if so, will there be conversations about, right, let's just forget that the last 2.5, 3 years happened, let's just pick up where we left off contractually. I don't know what the story is there, but it could be a huge plus.
I think so
for the
too.
operation, I think.
Listen, he's fighting style, he's willing to take a few to give some back. I think he'll always be in exciting fights. That's his nose just gone there. I think that's just, you know, the lack of defense a little bit. His hands weren't as tight as they should have been. And now it's caused him to have an old beat. Probably hasn't had one in about 3 years.
Welcome back. But on this card tonight, we're talking about next-gen fighters largely. Gabusi, Mason Payne, Elliot Elomasi, Sam King, and they're all novices in the proper sense. Burke, at 24, this is only his 8th pro fight, but we could not say the same about him, Denzel.
Yeah.
And he's shown the class, as well as the all-round technical skill.
I mean, to look as sharp and as good as he had, you know, not been in the ring for, you know, over 2 years. I mean, it is really impressive. It just shows that he's just a natural talent.
Yeah, natural talent. And the next big issue will be when the hue and cry from this settles down. Does he want to go straight back in and start testing himself every day like a pro?
Yeah.
Does he want to do that? Or is he happy to come back so he could say to everybody, I was really good, you know. You remember that night I came back for one night only? And he dances his way through the finishing tape. He's loved every second of that. I hope that that is the start of a very memorable and famous comeback, but we wait to be proven on that point. Burke, a great talent, right from the start of his pro career, who seemed to lose his way completely. Many people don't get a second chance in life. Virtually nobody gets a third chance.
Yep.
So let's hope that we're all going to remember this in a few years as the moment that we remembered Micky Burke and the moment that he set himself on the way to fulfill his talent.
Most definitely.
Bit of back and forth, as I mentioned, at the weigh-in yesterday, and a bit of back and forth, very good-natured at the end of it tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, your referee scores the contest at 59 points to 55. The winner in the blue corner from Bexley, London, Micky the Gent Burke Jr.
So if I've got that right, it's not quite a shutout,
And
but
a
it's the
round of
W
applause for
with
the
plenty
brave
to
and
spare
gallant
for
Jordan
Micky Burke
Grannum.
Jr. on his return to action.